the world. I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious about my appearance today, so I hope you don't mind that I'm just gonna take a video of me hiking through the woods while I channel this information. I got a request on a video and I figured why not. So I'm gonna be talking about Pisces sun with Scorpio rising. Now, it's always really challenging to have both your rising and your sun in water at the same time, because typically, besides Mercury as well, these are huge ways in which you interact with people and kind of express your personality and are exchanging energy with other people. And so when they're both in water, it can be hard to get a full grasp onto things. And then things like sensitivity and intuition and emotions can make communicating actually quite difficult, because it's like more to wade through than air. And so this takes some expertise to kind of learn how to cope with on a day-to-day basis. And in this case, with the Pisces and Scorpio energy, the way that they're placed, you're gonna seem like you have two different personalities, because oftentimes one part of you, you know, your sun, will react to something in a certain way emotionally. Like, you identify with how you're feeling, and Pisces is no boundaries of emotions. It's like limitless, it's universal. You feel everything, you sense everything. There is no holding back with Pisces. They feel all of it. And that's your ego. And so it's all encompassing and sort of, ooh, some deer. I don't know if you saw them. They're running through the woods. I got really distracted. So, right, that's going to be one way in which you interact with things. And your rising sign, though, is going to be protecting you from doing that and trying to guard you from anything that you don't want to feel. Scorpio doesn't want to feel everything because it's very intense, right? They kind of understand that they don't really have a choice about it, but they fight it more than Pisces does. Pisces surrenders and lets go. Scorpio tries to control it, which ends up producing a lot of really interesting results. As a process, Scorpio is fixed, so it is, of all the water signs, more able to create something real out of a feeling. But just in this kind of way, it's gonna sort of be blocking your sun, even though they will be trining. And if you have anything else in Scorpio that is in the first house, that planet is gonna have a really huge influence on your personality and how you relate to other people. But the juxtaposition here has the potential to be very beautiful, but you're gonna come across as someone that is very guarded and reserved, though you are not either of those things. And that's what makes it really confusing, right? Because really, with Scorpio and Pisces together, you get this beautiful depth and intensity and sensitivity and intelligence and emotional wisdom and all these things. But the way that it is set up with this certain combination will be to protect your inner core. And so you, ironically, might not share this with a lot of people. That is all Scorpio. Scorpio is secretive and mysterious. And when it's in your rising sign, you'll just kind of keep things from people for really absolutely no reason. It's just like you want this air of privacy and some things you just want for yourself, right? And so as a rising sign, it's kind of difficult too, because that is how you're interacting with everybody. And your Pisces really just wants to share love, but gets overwhelmed very easily. So you really are trying to look out for yourself. Like if you were born with this placement, you needed it. It was a good combination for you, and it is in your highest benefit. And try not to let the differences between them rupture your sense of self, which is easier said than done. Really, when they are trining, right? So you can definitely tap into the harmonies of this quite easily. But it could take you quite some time to achieve this on a regular and consistent basis. Like you will have your skill set and your tools on how to be yourself, obviously. But typically I think people are looking for advice and insight. It's just very all over the place, you know. As I'm channeling it, it's hard to put it into words because it's water on water. At two different levels, it's sort of like a glacier floating in water. They're both the same thing, but they have entirely different properties, but they're coexisting in the same place, and it creates an entire vibe in and of itself. So I would encourage you to recognize the parts of yourself that are solid, liquid, and gas. That might sound silly as a metaphor, but there are going to be pieces of you that never change. There's going to be these core emotions that you can identify as, hey, this is me. This is my personality. I feel these no matter what's going on. There's going to be pieces that are liquid, that change. Maybe things that you're trying to evolve about yourself or alter about yourself in some kind of way to better yourself, to grow, what have you, to just kind of change your outlook and your perspective on things for a more positive emotional experience. And then gas is just things that you can't control. Those universal things, that Piscean energy. And I would say if you wanted to group it, Scorpio is the ice, Cancer is the water, and Pisces is the gas. So when you have gas and ice, you have dry ice. And what is that? It's very confusing. It's very magical. It's mysterious. These people, they will draw you in. You will see the entire universe in their eyes, and every touch from them is like igniting all molecules in your body because of the sensitivity and the depth. Like these people are so encapsulating. They don't need to be extroverted or very social. They might be confusing or different or just very artistic and different and maybe a little bit dark and very beautiful. You will certainly find that you have plenty of people who are interested in you, but that you cannot accept everyone in for your own safety because people's intentions are not always in alignment with what you're willing to give energetically. And if that's not something that you've learned, you probably will one day. I have my sun in Cancer and my rising is Pisces, so it's not the same, but at the same time I can understand the double water personality where it can be hard to find yourself within all of the moving parts. But recognize that both the solid and the gas are you, both at the same time are you. There are so many dimensions to your personality. It's going to be like that for the rest of your life. So getting comfortable with who you are will make the ride a lot easier. And I hope that this information makes sense. If you learn something, then please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to check out my website, and I'll be back with some new videos in the next few days. Much love. Thanks.